Did you hear what I said?
It's gonna give it some character.
Did you hear what I said?
What?
It's Prince. He's coming to visit us through the episode.
Oh, facts. Shout out to Prince.
The purple one himself has blessed
You know?
us on Juneteenth
Oh yeah.
with his presence.
I just want to see you laughing in the purple rain.
You know what my favorite Prince song is? Adore. That song, like, even if you're not with anyone, you're in the car, like,
I'll be there for you.
especially the ending. That song is like 9 minutes long.
That's up there too. I just put that onto my Spotify playlist a few weeks ago when they did that little Prince tribute on TV.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite is what's it called? Do me, baby.
Of course, that's your favorite.
Like you never done before.
We hit the
The dude spent like 3 minutes moaning on the train.
Look, I was pregnant.
Like, what?
I was pregnant twice before the song ended. I was like, "Damn, Prince, you are aggressive."
I got 4 kids. What?
I'm just sitting there with triplets, like, I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Your stomach keeps growing every 30 seconds. Like, what in the...
Wiping my mouth. Like, what happened, Prince?
What? What is this song sperm? What in the world?
Like, I approve this in any way, shape, or form.
I got lyrical semen on me.
And this is going in the episode.
Oh, you recording already? Nice.
We have to discuss lyrical
lyrical semen.
We have to discuss lyrical, like, different songs, male and female, that make you go, "Oh my goodness!" Like,
we can do an episode just on Prince alone, probably.
We probably could. Definitely.
We'd put a symbol as the title of the episode.
Yes, that would be awesome.
The episode formerly known as Prince.
And have it disappear as we show it, and just like.
All right, let me know whenever you're ready. Oh, actually, let me take a little sip of this water first. So my voice ain't coming out ashy.
It is mad early for filming.
I know I had to get up and get dressed and everything. I was like, ah.
Right, like a regular work day. I was already at.
Facts, I've been working in my pajamas since March. What you mean? What you mean?
Dusty booty little boy in your pajamas.
Facts, dummy.
All right.
Do we like to wear pajamas around here? You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, listen, it's shorts and hoodies over here.
I got 2 pairs, yo. Welcome to Baltimore, son.
Thanks for the welcome.
$20 shoes. $20 shoes.
Indeed.
I'm gonna give me a hot dog.
Doug.
All right, you good?
Yep, I'm ready, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Happy Juneteenth, and welcome to the Good and Terrible Show. We is free ish. We gonna sit here. We got a great episode for y'all. My name is Travis, of course, and this is my illustrious co-host Mickey. And we got a great episode for y'all, all about what's going on in the country. We already kind of touched on it, but we got another interesting topic, kind of a different spin. And I'm actually going to let Mickey handle the majority of this topic right here. So with that said, I'm going to pass it over to my superstar co-host here, rocking the Badu, Badu hair wrap, you know what I'm saying? Unless God sent you, she's unavailable. Why don't you go ahead and kick it off? Tell the folks what we talking about today, Mick.
Today, TODAY, we're talking about a viral video that most people have already seen. I call her Officer Karen because I don't know, she didn't state her name in the video. I'm going to show you guys the video so you can watch it yourselves, and then we're going to discuss it really quickly. But if you haven't seen it, brace yourself, okay? Just be ready, because it's an interesting Interesting.
Oh, oh, oh. We got the video, y'all.
The video. Let's see.
Hope y'all having a good Juneteenth today. The rain is kind of messing a few things up. You know, supposed to have some cookouts, but make sure if you can have a cookout, if you're in a sunny part of the country or you got the ability to cook inside your house, grill, throw some stuff on the internal grill, maybe a George Foreman or something like that. Make sure you eat up because that's, you know, black people, that's what we like to do. No matter what the holiday is, we gonna eat. So
definitely. All right, there's a video, guys.
Eat some ribs for me. We got the video up.
I decided to come to the McDonald's at Love's on the Ford Avenue exit, and I waited in line to get my food. I had already done my mobile order so that, you know, people don't pay for my stuff because I just always like to pay for it myself. But I'm on my way home from work. When I pull up to the window, they hand me my receipt, so I go to the second window to get my food, and I'm waiting. And I'm waiting. And I'm waiting. And so the girl comes to the window and asks me what my order was. I repeat my order and my coffee order. And they ask me to pull up because my food's not ready. It's an English muffin meal with a hash brown and coffee. And I mean, I hadn't eaten since probably about, I mean, I've been up for a very long time, but I haven't eaten in a while, so I was kind of hungry. And I'm still waiting. And I'm still waiting. And they asked me to pull up. So I pull up forward, and a girl comes out with my coffee, and just the coffee. And she hands it to me, and I have my window down. And that's all she hands me is the coffee. So I told her, I said, don't bother with the food because right now I'm too nervous to take it. It doesn't matter how many hours I've been up. It doesn't matter what I've done for anyone. Right now I'm too nervous to take a meal from McDonald's because I can't see it being made. I don't know what's going on with people nowadays, but please, just give us a break. Please just give us a break. I don't know how much more I can take. I've been in this for 15 years, and I've never, ever had such anxiety about waiting for McDonald's drive-thru food. So just have a heart, and if you see an officer, just tell them thank you. Because I don't hear thank you enough anymore. I decided to come to the McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yo. So listen, we had to share this video with y'all because, wow. Oh, imagine being so warped to reality that you really think that you're, I mean, don't get me wrong, police do have a tough job, right?
Yes.
It's not the easiest job. It's not like, you know, you're, I don't know, you know, sitting there, you know, painting all day. I don't know. It's not, it's a tough job. But at the same time, imagine being so warped to reality that you think that because of these last, I don't even know if it's been a full month yet. Maybe a month at the most.
Almost.
Right, about a month. You think that these last 4 weeks, this last month has been so hard on you that you have a mental breakdown because somebody forgot your Egg McMuffin. Now, don't get me wrong. I think we've all been gypped by McDonald's at some point in getting our food or forgetting fries or something like that. But she's talking about she's been on the force for 15 years, and with everything that's going on over the last month, now she's having a mental breakdown because of the way that people are acting towards police. but you've been on the force for 15 years, so you've seen firsthand for 15 years why people are reacting to the police. Imagine having a mental breakdown. Black people have been around longer than 15 years. Black people have been here for 400 years, and we ain't having no mental breakdown.
No, we just came out yesterday. We just came out on May 31st. It was like, oh damn.
I wish. Yeah, a surprise. We here.
Yeah.
They just painted us brown one day.
We just popped up out of the ground like sunflowers. We just,
we was green before, and then somebody was like, you know what? I feel like making them brown today. I guess that's what happened. I'm not sure. Imagine that being all you had to worry about in life is your McDonald's. I wish that was all I had to worry about is my McDonald's order.
Yeah.
Shoot. I love me them double cheeseburgers. I'm not gonna lie.
This is my thing. First of all, I understand, like you said, everybody's gone to McDonald's and had an experience which is why I don't go very often. They forget your food, they leave your sauces, your food's cold, you had to wait, you had to pull through and wait at the little, you know how they had a little spots designated if they don't have your food ready?
Yeah.
Everybody's done that. And I feel like I understand the frustration, but making a video about it and then tying that into what's going on right now, girl. If
you want sympathy.
But it's like you said,
that's it.
15 years, and I'm sure you probably dealt with way more situations than this, but it's like, we can't take a break. We have not had a break since we've been in this country. We've been getting our asses handed to us, for lack of a better term, for a long time. So I understand her frustration, but my thing is like, there's so many other things. The first thing that came to my head was like, I don't know if you remember the episode of the Kardashians where Kim was crying and Kourtney was like, people are dying. That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, people are dying right now, and you're crying over this. Like, nobody else has dealt with that before. And
I really think she's just trying to target the All Lives Matter folks into some sympathy, saying like, look what we have to go through, or just saying, or maybe just trying to deflect. Maybe she is talking to black folks, trying to deflect, saying like, hey, you're not the only one suffering. Like, bruh, your little $2 sandwich is not the same.
It's not. And like you said, she's been an officer for 15 years. Being an officer is not an easy job. I'm not saying that it is. And yes, there are officers that are going through a lot of stress. Maybe all of them are right now. But my thing is just like, you chose that career. I cannot choose to change my skin color. I cannot choose to change your skin color. We can't wake up and just put something on and be like, okay, I'll be safe today because they won't see what I am. We don't have that choice. We don't have the choice.
Black is not limited edition.
No,
black it's not. It's not like while supplies last. Like, we black all the time.
It's not a 30-day trial. Like, oh, you get to try it, and if you like it, you can.
But you know, Iggy Azalea did it. So I mean.
Oh yeah. Hey, listen.
You know, Miley Cyrus did it. So you know. They had their little 30-day trial, right?
the culture vultures come in and they like, ooh, and then they just
tail right off. Yeah, we don't have the luxury of returning, you know, back to our roots, quote unquote. Justin Timberlake, what he did. Remember when he had that little Tennessee album, or I don't even know what it was called, but
it was garbage. It was, and I'm an NSYNC fan. Justin Timberlake was always my favorite. That album, I tried my hardest to listen to it, and like, I gotta find at least one track.
I like Justin Timberlake. Don't get me wrong. He's made a lot of great music over the years.
He has.
You know what I'm saying?
With a lot of help from black people. Put that in there.
Oh well, yes. I mean, he's gotten close with Pharrell. He's gotten close with Timbaland. You know what I'm saying? There's Jay-Z. You know, but before you can choose what your profession is, before you can choose, you know, which gender that you want to love or anything like that, before you can choose what religion that you want to follow, even before, you know, biologically you're a man or a woman, if your parents are black, you are black before anything else. Black is something that is permanent. You can't get rid of that. The melanin is always in your system. Those African roots are always in your system. Before anything else happens, you are a black blank. Right. So, you know, the whole sympathy movement for the police and everything. Now, don't get me wrong. There are obviously good cops out there. I'm not saying every police is bad. I'm not here to bash the police or anything like that. But if you've been in the force 15 years, you know by now firsthand the issues that police have had with people of color, specifically black people. So you can't sit here and act like you're about to get, some crying tears from us. Remember the commercial with the Indian back in the day with the little one tear that came down, the little crying Indian? Okay. Or crying Native American, I should say.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
Indian is a little
indigenous thing.
Indigenous person.
Yeah.
It was a famous commercial that was kind of focused around like recycling or whatever. I think she's expecting that type of reaction from us because somebody forgot her egg McMuffin at McDonald's, and because she's a cop, she don't want to wait an extra 5 minutes to get another sandwich. So she don't get no sympathy from me.
And
that sandwich.
Right. Like, if we didn't care about the Target, you think I care about the McDonald's sandwich? That sandwich can fly across I don't care. And like you said, if she's nervous, I think, and the other thing, I watched the video several times to make sure I listened to what she said. And she said that she was too nervous to take it because she couldn't see it being made. When have you ever been to a fast food restaurant and they say, hey, come back, we're going to show you how we make your sandwich? Never. Ever in my life.
House. This ain't Waffle House.
If you want that experience, then you need to go somewhere where you can go inside and the kitchen is open so you can see what's going on. Yep. But you decided to go through the drive-thru. You decided to get McDonald's. If I was nervous as a police officer to eat food from places outside of my home, I would not eat fast food.
But the thing is, she said she didn't want to get it. So she already ordered it, mind you. She already went through the drive-thru, already ordered, already paid for it. Right. You know what I'm saying? But now, after they forgot it, now she's nervous because she can't see it being made. But that didn't bother you 3-4 minutes ago when you was in the drive-thru, when you ordered in the first place. It didn't enter your mind then when you ordered it, saying, oh, I can't see it made, so I don't want to order it. But now all of a sudden, because they didn't bring it to you the first time, now all of a sudden it's an issue that you can't see it. None of that video makes sense.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
And there's nothing about that video that makes sense.
And the people in the comments are like, you guys should feel bad for her. Do you think that every other, and I'm only gonna speak for America because I can't speak for other countries, because I know they say in other countries McDonald's is like really nice and like upscale. And I'm
sure it depends on the country.
Right, depends on where you are. But I don't know customer service outside of where I visited. So since I'm from here, I've been to McDonald's a lot of different states, and I've dealt with the same thing. It's not necessarily them just being rude or whatever. It's just like sometimes you have to wait. Sometimes, order gets messed up. Sometimes your food is cold. But I've never in my life took my phone and said, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to tell the people that I've been discriminated against, like, over my sandwich. And now I want you to feel bad for me when, like you said, it's like she doesn't recognize the scope of what's going on, where our brothers and sisters and children are being killed by the police almost, it feels like weekly, if not daily, that something is happening. And this is before George Floyd. This is just like, just going back, and her saying that irritated me the most because it's just like, you're concerned about a sandwich. Our people are dying. And we have to get up, go to work, put a smile on, act like everything is fine, continue with our day, raise our children, and, act like everything is fine. We are not okay.
And then on top of that, we have the burden of trying to educate other people of why we're not okay.
Right. And trying to get people, whether it's protesting, I'm going to another protest, I'm going to send it to you tomorrow. Like the last one we went to that was organized is another one tomorrow. Whether it's people peacefully protesting and there's protesters against, the Black Lives Matter movement, or peaceful protests that are in favor of us that people are doing. I've seen videos where people have been spit on. There's anti-protesters coming out, hitting people and tearing up stuff. And it's just like, we're getting hit from all angles. And
I saw a video this morning just to piggyback off your point right here, I saw a video this morning of a white protester. Is a white female. She looked like she's no older than maybe, I don't know, 21, 22, something like that. She looks like she's either a teenager or a girl in her 20s. She's walking down the street. It's in, I'm not sure what the city is, but it's in a part of town that's obviously, you know, pretty Caucasian-centric town, meaning that the town is obviously the majority, or at least that part of town was the majority Caucasian. And she's walking down the street just herself, not even like a protest. She's doing like a single protest with a sign, a Black Lives Matter sign. And she's just walking down the street, minding her own business, you know, doing her little peaceful protest. She walks by like a crowd of white people. It was mostly white men. And they're, you know, yelling at her like, all lives, da 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 da, whatever. So she goes to the other side of the street, and mind you, there's actually a cop in this video. I forgot to mention, there's a cop in the video who's like helping traffic across the street, different things like that. And he's there, he witnesses all of this and does nothing. And after that, when she crosses the street, you know, a few men like take her like behind like the side of a building, and you can't really see what happens then. But afterwards, after, you know, a minute or two, they come out. One of the guys is holding the sign, and he's like ripping up the sign. And then, you know, you see the girl coming out a few seconds later, and she's got like her hand on her face, and she's, you know, trying to tell the officer, they punched me in the face, they hit me. You can like hear her kind of like yelling, you know, on the side of the building. And these are white men attacking a little white girl for protesting Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? This is, and a cop is standing right there, and he does nothing. He's like escorting. He's like, man, you know, why don't you go home or whatever he's saying? It's ridiculous. Yeah. You know, if they're doing that to one of their own, to a white woman, imagine what they're doing to us. You know what I'm saying? So, and people don't understand things like that.
Yeah, I saw that same video. I actually saw it last night, and at first I was like, okay, is she going to a group of people? Because like you said, she was alone. And and shout out to the white allies, any other allies that are protesting with us and for us on their own, or whether they're joining. We appreciate you guys. We hope that y'all stick it out with us, because the people that have, like, when we protested, that we saw, I hope that they understand that this is not something that we are being applauded for. You know what I mean? Like, you have the police in New York running protesters over, peaceful people. You know what I mean? And they're getting beat up, they're getting harassed. This girl, like you said, got punched, and the cop watched it and just like, well, you just go home. And she's a white woman, like you said. Imagine what would have happened if it was me or you that was out there alone. We probably would have been killed, and the police would have just been like, okay, everybody go home. It was almost like, to me in that video, that they were scared. The police were afraid of the civilians, and they didn't want to engage with them. So they just sent her home as if she was the problem, and she was not. And her being a female, to me, pissed me off even more, because it's just like, this is a woman. And y'all, and I saw nothing but men. Whether it was a female that hit her or a man that hit her, but it was a man that put his hands on her. But it's just like, you shouldn't be putting your hands on anybody, regardless if you agree with them or not. So,
and that's why I don't believe the whole narrative that police throw out. You know, after, you ever notice, like, after one of us, you know, does get killed, a lot of times it's like, oh, I feared for my life. Oh, I was fearful, blah, 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 blah. I don't believe that narrative that police try to throw out there, because, you know, you just said it definitely seemed like this cop was fearful of these civilians. Whenever they seem fearful of the white civilians, they just leave them alone or try to distance themselves. But for some reason, whenever they're afraid of one of us, who's unarmed, who's not being violent, you know, all of a sudden, click clack, you know, I don't believe it. It's BS. It's jive. I don't like it.
Yeah,
I'm not with it.
I think that I'm glad that, even though social media sometimes can be overwhelming with the amount of stuff that we see, I'm glad that it's being filmed and shown, because think about the millions of people that have gone through things like this, whether it was just in their daily life or being harassed, being spit on, you know, our grandparents, parents, the racism they had to deal with that was not filmed, that nobody ever saw, that they just have stories. I'm glad that people are seeing it, especially people that don't understand why we keep saying Black Lives Matter. We shouldn't have to preach that to people. And the All Lives Matter thing irritates me, because if you believe that, then you should be out here with us and saying, hey, these lives matter too. But it's just like, when you say all lives matter, to me, it's like spitting in our faces and saying, well, you know, we matter too. No one said that you didn't, but y'all are not being killed every day. Y'all are not being gunned down. Y'all are not being targeted. People aren't following y'all in the park while you're bird watching, about to call the police on you. And you know what I mean, for doing nothing. So it's just like the constant, like I said, we're getting hit from all sides. And to see that video, I was just like, oh yeah, we got to talk about this. Because I just, you know, grab her by the neck.
And people act like, you know, the civil rights movement was forever ago, because, you know, a lot of times you see black and white photos of the civil rights movement, which I think is a tactic, because let's be real, there were color photographs back in the 60s and 70s. You know what I'm saying? People forget the civil rights movement was in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, right? Both of my parents were born in the 50s. This is something that isn't generations ago. This is something that's one generation ago. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe 2 generations at the most. You know what I'm saying? We are not far removed from it. And so if you really think that, you know, those type of activities have gone away in the last 50 years, it's not, it doesn't happen like that. It just, oh, we're not racist anymore. That's not what happens. You know what I'm saying? People forget, you know, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, JFK, those guys were all killed in the 60s. And my parents were born before the 60s. So it's not something that we need to turn a blind eye to and just forget, kind of sweep it under the rug. If we can, you know, never forget 9/11, we can never forget the civil rights movement or even slavery or anything like that. So, you know, it's not just history, it's present time. And we're not going to feel sorry for people because of the way that folks have been reacting, because they've been telling you about these issues for years, and there's been a lot of people that have sat around and done nothing. So we're not, the sympathy game is at an all-time low at this point, and that's, you know, the streets are talking. So that's how they're reacting.
And at this point, it's just like, we, you know, like we talked about before in the previous video, we tried to be peaceful. We tried, you know, like you said, our parents and grandparents tried to do things and be heard. We're still fighting the same fight again in this generation. I hope that our children don't have to do the same thing, but it's just like, we're tired. And for you to push your, you know, for you to want sympathy for yourself over this, and not in your mind go, man, should I make this video because it might seem insensitive to Black people about what's going on, and, you know, maybe I need to take a step back. Sometimes you have to reevaluate what is going on in your world versus what's going on in the outside world. Whether that's being thankful for, you know, having a, like I do that all the time, just reassess, having a job, having a place to stay, having a vehicle to get around, having food on the table, having clean water. Those are things that a lot of people do not have. And you're worried about a sandwich. And there, like I said, there's people dying. So I don't know if you want to say anything else, but my advice to her, and probably to whoever employs her, whichever department she works for, she needs to be evaluated mentally, because if you're crying over that, you should not have a gun in your hand, because you're not
a gun, a taser, a nightstick.
No, you should not be allowed to judge, or not even judge, but you shouldn't be allowed to handle a weapon if your mental state is that fragile and you're crying about that. And I saw a comment that somebody said, it's funny until she shoots someone because she's nervous, you know what I mean? Or she's jittery, which has happened before. So my advice to her is go to Chick-fil-A. I fixed it.
Oh my gosh.
Because that would have never happened at Chick-fil-A. But other than that, I don't have any other advice for her.
Chick-fil-A out here donating to Trump too, though.
But it's franchise based, so it depends on the owner of that location.
Yeah.
It is.
Anyways.
It is.
Anyways.
But what I'm saying is that's the only anecdote I have for her. Like, if you don't want those problems, don't go eat a fast food. Make your coffee at home, buy your own McMuffin, and make your own little sausage.
Cook an egg.
Yeah.
Yep. But anyways, that brings our video to a close. We just wanted to make sure that y'all saw this video and that we spoke about it. Thank you again for watching. from the Good and Terrible Show. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. Please make sure to celebrate, eat something, fight for what's right. And yeah, we off this joint from the Good and Terrible Show. My name is Travis.
My name's Nikki.
And we hope you guys have a great, blessed, free day.